Today we're going to talk about the cost of living in Secord. You may be considering moving into this neighborhood and wondering if there's any added cost other than the cost of the home. We will touch base about the cost of the house as well too, since I'm a realtor and I'd be happy to share that information with you. So in Secord, there is HOA fees. Now, what are HOA fees? HOA fees stands for Homeowners Association fees. Now, not all of Secord actually has HOA fees, so it's kind of confusing. So the way that Secord initially started was it was owned by Hopewell Developments. So they were the developer. Now developers are the ones that own the land and they sell the land to the builders, where the builders then built the homes. Now what happened is Hopewell kind of had some financial issues, and I don't believe they actually owned all of the land anyways, but they started selling pieces of the land to other developers. So in the Hopewell section, in the newer or the older section, the beginning part of the first phases of Secord, there's no HOA fees. The newer parts of Secord do have HOA fees because they're a different developer. So the other developers in Secord are MLC Developments, and there's also Melcor that owns Rosewood in Secord. So if you take a look at the map, they call it Rosewood, but for MLS purposes, I'm pretty sure it'll be counted as Secord and not Rosenthal when it comes to MLS. So in the newer parts called West Secord, there are HOA fees. Why would there be HOA fees there versus in the older Secord? It's just how it was done. Now, I don't know if they're going to change that and make it all the same eventually, but I do know that that's kind of how the HOA fees work in Secord. So the information I found out about the Secord HOA is it's the West Secord HOA, and you can find that on the MLC website. Now they talk about an initial fee of $250 being held in a trust account, and they haven't figured out yet, I don't think, that what they're going to be doing every year. I know that we are the neighbors in Rosenthal and we have a yearly fee, and it's not that high, and we maintain the bridge, the walking paths, the trees, the lighting. In West Secord, the HOA fees include the maintenance of the wood screen fencing on major roadways, the entry treatments, landscape features, fountains and boulevards, and any additional information at the discretion of the Owners Association. Now, once it forms, the Owners Association will be formed of some residents in partnership with a management company. It does take some time, and because West Secord is still developing, they probably won't have all that information ironed out quite yet. But when you're building with a builder in West Secord, they will be able to tell you that amount. Now, some builders don't always know what the amount is, so make sure to check out the MLC website for the exact information. This HOA fee is registered on your title, so you do owe this as a homeowner every single year. It is mandatory. You do not have a choice to pay it or not if you live in West Secord. So according to the MLC website, 1 year prior to the completion of West Secord is when they're going to implement this HOA fee. Then more details will come out and they'll be able to discuss what's going to be happening and the exact cost for yearly, what it is. HOA fees here in Edmonton are usually always yearly, not monthly, and they're usually pretty minimal. Why do neighborhoods have HOA fees? Prior to this, in the older neighborhoods of Edmonton, the city of Edmonton used to take care of everything. So because of the fact that the city of Edmonton doesn't take care of things as much anymore, especially in these newer neighborhoods, it's up to the neighborhood to make sure there's money saved to take care of things that I just mentioned. That's why it's important to have an HOA in your neighborhood if the city's not taking care of that. So what are some other costs in Secord? So if you don't live in West Secord and you live in Secord in general, what are some other costs? If you want to join the Secord Community League, you'll need to check their website out or their Facebook page. I believe their Facebook page is up and running, and you can see the price. Prices for community leagues in Edmonton range from $20 to $40 a year per family, and everyone has different fee structures. So make sure to check it out. Sometimes it changes year to year as well. What does this include if you want to be a part of the community league? Now, I used to be part of Secord Community League when I used to live in Secord, and we did a lot of things. We planned events for kids and families. We had a lot of things for kids to do, like programs, babysitting classes. There's a lot of different activities. Community leagues are meant to foster neighborhood spirit and be able to have everyone get to know each other and provide that community in Secord. Now, to enjoy the paths, the playgrounds, and all that fun stuff in Secord. There's zero cost to you to enjoy that. Now, if you live in the neighborhood, you can enjoy it. If you don't live in the neighborhood and you just want to drive in and enjoy that, you can. Walking paths, there's a walking path right by the Red Park, which is close to the front of Secord. There's an actual nature bird reserve there, and it's really nice and luscious. When you actually go in there, it's a very short little jaunt. But when you are in there, it does feel like you're outside of the city for that little brief moment. It is nice in there and quiet and serene. They've also the playground, like I mentioned, just right outside there. The Green Shack used to be there. The Green Shack is a program for kids, elementary age kids in the summertime that the city puts on, and it's completely free. It's usually either in the mornings or the afternoons, depending on what's decided. It's usually planned in partnership with the Community League, but you don't need to have a membership to take part of it. Now, this Green Shack has now moved to David Thomas King School because now there is that school there. The David Thomas King School is K-9. There's a big playground there that was fundraised by the neighborhood, and there's a big field out there. There's a pump track there, all again free to use, and there's a lot more space there for the Green Shack, and that's why it's there now. If you're looking and wondering how much it costs to live in Secord in a home, you're going to be looking anywhere from $300,000 all the way to like $650,000 roughly. The sales in Secord in the last year ranged in that price point. The average house price was $456,000. Now keep in mind, these are MLS recorded sales. You can still build and buy new there, so those sales are not recorded on MLS, and those prices continue to rise within the builders because the cost is going up, the labor is in high demand, and there's not very much lots that are being developed. So when you're looking at building and buying new in Secord, you can probably expect for a single family home with a double attached garage, you can expect to spend about $450,000 and higher. It again depends on if you're getting a zero lot line home, which is those smaller lot homes, or a regular lot. Now regular lots, keep in mind, are also smaller. If you're looking to build in that area, just be prepared for that cost. So another cost of living in Secord is something that's not financial, it's actually your time. If you are wanting to live in Secord and go to downtown or the university, you have to keep in mind it is a bit of a drive. Now, drive is relative because it depends on where you're from. If you're watching from out of province and you're in a busy city, then this is probably nothing to you. But within Edmonton, people usually complain if they have to drive more than 15 to 20 minutes. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes to go downtown depending on traffic, same as with the university area. If you are looking to go to the airport from Secord, you're also looking around that time. Now, if you happen to know about the traffic situation, there is a cost of your time there. I noticed, and when I lived there as well, and still now, there is traffic that always happens at traffic hour from about 4 until 6 p.m., sometimes 7, and Winterburn Road is always really backed up. That's the road that you primarily use to get into Secord. There is now another entrance in through the back as well, and also down 87th Ave that you can take in. So there is 2 more other options, but the most popular option is the one right across from Winterburn School, and it gets pretty busy because of the smaller roadways there. Now, is the roadways going to be expanded? That's a good question for your city councillor. From what I know, it's nothing planned in the near future to be expanded, even though it seems like it should. This is the Winterburn Road that takes you all the way down to Costco as well. So you'd think that it would have been updated, but it's not yet. So what can you get for a home between $300,000 to $350,000 in Secord? Well, you're going to get a townhouse with no condo fees. You're going to get a house with the garage in the back. Not a detached home, it's going to be attached. You can get a half duplex with a single car garage. Those are the types of homes you're getting, anywhere from 5 years old and a little bit older. The newer homes are going to be those straight side homes that again are a lot smaller. Their square footage is about 1,100, 1,200 square feet. You might get 1,300 square feet for that price range. Now, if you're wanting to get 1,400 square feet or higher, you are going to be spending a little bit more money. So between $350,000 to $400,000, you're going to be getting homes in about the 1,300 square foot range, all the way up to 1,600 square feet. Now these homes, you can find some homes with the garages in the back. Now the garage won't be done necessarily. There will be a pad. If the garage is done and the house is under $400,000, that's actually a really good price, but likely the finishings inside will be a little bit more dated. Now, when you look at the house prices between 400 to 500,000, you're going to find everything from the double attached half duplexes at the lower end of the spectrum. You're going to find some zero lot lines in the middle. These are the double garage homes. You're also going to find double garage front attached homes that are also single family in this price point as well. Now, in the 450 to 500 range, you're going to find these homes either with zero lot lines, depending if they're newer. The older homes are going to be, when I say older, Secor's not that old. It's probably mostly started to establish in about 2006, 2005, roughly. So you still will find a lot of newer type homes, not necessarily anything older than, you're definitely not going to find 1990s built homes in Secord. Between 450 and 500,000, you will find a lot of homes under 2,000 square feet. There are the odd ones that actually do have homes in the lower 2,000 square feet. If you want homes that are over 2,300 square feet, they're usually going to be the low 500,000s up to the mid, again, depending on if the basement is finished, how new the house is, how new the finishings are, and again, the lot size. Don't forget, you're also going to find walkout lots in Secord, and those will cost you more money. They're going to be in the $600,000 range. So in Secord, the highest price sold was $657 in the last 12 months, and that was also a walkout. So another cost of living in Secord, depending on the kind of house that you buy, you're gonna have to keep in mind if you're doing new, the cost is gonna be landscaping and doing your fence and putting your blinds in. If you're buying an older, let's say 10 years or older, you will have to make sure you're saving up money for appliances that are gonna go, because appliances usually only last 10 years. You wanna save up money for your furnace, and your hot water tank is probably gonna go at 10 years. Your furnace will probably go around 20. Again, it all depends on the condition of your specific home. Those shingles usually last about in the 20-year mark, but you just have to keep an eye on it. When we had the big windstorms in Secord, it was definitely, there was shingles being blown off and siding being blown off in that area. Now, Secord's really close to the amenities such as Dollarama and Save On Foods and Costco, and close to going to the West Edmonton Mall. So it's really easy access to get groceries there, easy access to pick up milk. It's a really great place in terms of that. So that time, if you're looking at the cost of time, you're not a whole lot of time to just drive over. You can also walk if you felt like you wanted to have a little bit of exercise. The cost of living in Secord is definitely well worth taking a look at. The homes in Secord are a lot more affordable if you look at the grand scheme of overall Edmonton. You usually get more house for your money when you're in West Secord or West Edmonton compared to Southwest Edmonton. Southwest is going to be definitely more expensive, similar type homes, but of course different land. So make sure you check out homes in Secord. Make sure you check out this video about the neighborhood in Secord, and then this video will show you even more costs about living in Edmonton as a whole.